Beans, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm surviving. We're coming up on a year of quarantine. How does that make you feel? How do you?
That's crazy to think about, man. I mean, seriously, it's either 5 years ago or 5 days ago that this quarantine thing happened. It's crazy to think that it. Oh my gosh, it's really weird.
Yeah, it's like you were in a coma and you wake up and all of your friends know how to play guitar now, but you wasted your life. You wasted your coma days. Guys, use coma days wisely. But the beauty of it is that we have more quarantine. We have more coma days. You can learn how to play guitar.
Yes, you
Um,
can still learn how to play guitar. There's plenty of opportunities to play guitar. There's plenty of opportunities to do many things. There's plenty of opportunities to get a high score on Wii Bowling. There's plenty of opportunities still to, I don't know, build your puzzle or whatever. I mean, I feel like what's going to be really interesting is that these indoor self improvement kind of things, I wonder, are they going to continue to improve, or are people going to abandon them once we're out of quarantine and try to hang out with friends instead?
so I think that there is a definite cultural shift that will never go away. It's been happening for a while now, the shift towards more interacting online than interacting in person. For example, in my neighborhood, we have a few families, but a lot of those people stay indoors and like play video games all day or something. And so, yeah, we have this culture where we interact a lot more online than we do in person, and quarantine just like sped that up. It's just moved faster towards that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that. It's crazy that this has shifted so much. It's something that I think would have happened already, but quarantine kind of sped up we're now going to be super online just because of, everything you have to do online.
Yeah. Yeah, whether or not this is a good thing, I don't know. It's interesting to me because like for the long while, like I don't know, online is definitely becoming more of a good place to be and interact with people, but it's still like not as good as getting that face to face contact sometimes. And so yeah, it can
Yeah.
feel isolating.
Yeah. Well, as you guys listening know, and as Beans and I know, it is Mystery Guest Week, and Beans has a mystery guest waiting in the waiting room, waiting to reveal themselves to me. Beans, you're gonna give me like a quick little thing about whoever this person is, and just let me think about it, like a quick little hint. I'm not gonna try to guess in case I get it right, and it's
This
not very interesting. But give me like a little bit of just like a little hint that may give me an idea.
All right, so this is a big hint. I don't know. Yeah, my family's going insane, but this is a big
I
hint.
don't know if they can hear that in the back, but I think
You
everyone's
guys are
chill.
gonna hear this, and it's bad. All right, but anyways, this is a big hint. This guy has shown St. Joseph High School more blood than anybody else.
I don't know what that means.
For sure.
Oh man, I don't know what that means. That could mean so many things. I mean, there's some people that have like injured themselves badly. I don't know what that means. I feel
All
like
right, all right.
you're gonna laugh at me when I find out what it means.
Yeah, I am gonna laugh at you. All right.
All right, well, go ahead and
Um,
introduce your guest, Beans, and we will
yeah,
let him
it
speak to
is
the
none
audience.
other than the legendary Greek hero Braden of Troy, aka Blood Packet God. It's
Oh
the Blood
my
Packet
In
God.
God!
the flesh, not really, I guess, since it's virtual. But hi.
It's Blood Packet Guy. I'm so happy, dude.
And Jesus now. That's what I am in the
Woo.
Oh yeah,
musical
I
yeah.
don't.
plug.
If you guys
But
didn't
what,
know,
30 seconds in, already got a plug.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
guys didn't know, Beans has another musical friend that we've now invited to the podcast. It's just gonna be a trend from now on.
It's like when you're in the mafia and the musical is like the mafia. If you
Yeah.
you should
It's
come and
a
be.
lot like the Mafia.
I don't know. You can't just join the mafia. I guess if you like have special talents, like you can't just join the musical if you like
Yeah,
can't sing very
exactly.
well, maybe.
You need to be able to sing to join the musical, just like you need to be able to eat a lot of spaghetti if you join the mafia.
Yeah, it's obviously a requirement.
Okay, well, for those that don't know, Braden, would you like to explain to the audience what we mean when we say blood packet guy? Because it's probably
Yeah,
confusing a lot of
so
people.
um I guess I guess you could classify me as a theater kid. I've been in a couple plays and musicals, and one of them was the fall play, uh, what was it called? Game of Tiaras, and I was a guy who threw blood everywhere, because it was like a parody of Shakespeare, and Shakespeare has a lot of blood in it, but actual blood is not in the budget, so we have streamers that I throw, and I did that for the whole show and made sarcastic comments.
And it was
very
possibly it was possibly the best performance.
Yeah, apparently everyone loved it. I don't know. I just made sarcastic comments the whole time. It wasn't hard. But yeah, apparently, how many teachers have come up to me and been like, "Oh, it's the blood packet guy," and I'm like, "You guys watched the show?" My own sister didn't watch the show.
Oh no, dude!
She lives in the same house as me now. I'm like, I don't know. Apparently, I left a huge impact on the St. Joe community.
Yes, Blood Packet Guy is definitely going to be a character that they'll try to bring back, and they'll try to reprise the role with someone else. But
Reboot.
Yeah, just reboot. It's not going to work.
He's gonna get a spin-off.
Yeah.
The blood packet.
Dude, they need to make like
It's just me throwing blood for like an hour and a half.
It would be such a cool thing to make like a play that's like super meta about a guy who just does that, and he ends up like coming outside of the musical, and he's like, "Wait a minute, this isn't real. I'm meant to do more than just throw streamers."
No, yeah. Hopefully, I get more known for the Jesus role, because I think I'd rather be known for that. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. I was like, after everyone's like Brayden did so well, I poured my heart and soul into
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Beans was literally like one of the main characters, but I loved Brayden's performance better. This isn't even a joke, guys. It was pure comedy. And anyone who has that role, I'm sure, could probably play it well, but Brayden did a great job just because of how the sarcasm and the self-awareness of the role is so crazy.
Well, I can't really do that now as Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus is pretty...
That's a little rough territory, we'll say. But, I'm glad I could bring some joy in these dark times is what I'm supposed to say.
It really did make me smile.
Yeah.
It was really great.
Good opinion. Your opinion was right, Brayden. Good.
Yes. Beans, what about, like, how did everyone else react to the fact that someone would literally be playing that? Like, was that already in the play, or did someone work that in, like, hey, we're going to do this?
That was already in the play, yeah. Because the dude wrote a really crazy, dumb play. That's yeah. All right, but Brayden, I have a question. When you go home, when you hang up all of the blood streamers, what's your favorite pastimes?
After I do that, I guess I play a lot of video games. I'm not good at them, but I play them, and that's what matters, I guess. Honestly, mostly recently, it's just been a lot of homework. Preparing for the musical. That's a lie. I haven't been preparing at all. But yeah, stuff like that. Nothing really special or out of the ordinary. I'd like to say I'm an interesting guy with some really diverse talents, but it's not true. So.
What? This is so sad. I'm just not an interesting guy. All right. I'm professionally bad at video games too. All right, we can all
professionally.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that thing how like Twitch streamers. There's either really good gamers or there's people that make fun of themselves when they play the games, and it both makes for great content.
Yeah, and that is my goal, to make fun of myself as much as possible,
so that people can laugh.
Yeah, going full Mr.
It's a good goal.
In here.
It's a really, really selfless, really awesome goal that people make a living on making other people laugh by making fun of themselves. And some of them are really great. And it's really cool.
Yeah, this coming from the dude who brought up Elephant Man last time. Jeez, Ralphie.
Yeah.
Just terrifying.
That was a weird conversation.
Yeah, holy smokes. We have weird podcasts. We have a weird podcast.
We have a weird podcast. I think that might have been the goal from the start.
I wouldn't have expected anything less from a guy whose name is Beans.
Yeah, you can't get any weirder than that.
No.
All right. I want to hear. So you had to move up last year. Remember this to the or something. What was it? Altos.
I don't know.
You don't know the technical term.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
You were like one of, I don't know, you might be like the only male at St. Joseph High School who could sing those notes. Like, were you intimidating or something?
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I was. I guess I got the hang of it. I don't think I could do it now.
Hmm.
I guess. I mean, I guess I was intimidated at the start, but then I just kind of was like, oh well, I guess I'm doing this now. It wasn't terrible. Yeah,
That's cool.
I got used to it.
I guess that's, theater's about surviving as a different human being for a little bit,
Yeah.
There's another parallel. Theater is like surviving. The mafia is like surviving. We gotta re-invite Mr. Reynolds and propose the idea that he's really working for the mafia.
Oh, dude, Mr. Reynolds working for the mafia? Don't even get me started.
That would be ridiculous. That would be hilarious.
He's recruiting us. That's it. He's
It's slowly
recruiting us into the family.
Yeah.
I believe it. He definitely treats theater as a big family. I mean,
Yeah, it does. And it's not the kind of like cheesy family. It's kind of like what we're talking about. It's more of a serious thing where he's like,
oh yeah.
I told him, I was like, hey, what if I just did theater? I was like just proposing the idea as like a hypothetical situation. And he was like, well, if you do, you better commit. And it was kind of serious. And I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to, but it's good to know.
Yeah, he was like, Marscola, if you marry me, will you bury me? Will you carry me to the end? All right. No halfways.
No, man.
Well, that's threatening.
Yeah, that is a little bit threatening.
Yeah.
An interesting thing that I found out about today, just because we're talking about theater, and also that he was one of our guests. Apparently, Manny's doing the musical.
What?
Yeah, I mean, he said he's in the ensemble, so he's not. I mean, he's doing stuff, but it's just. I asked him, I was like, "So what's your role?" He was like, "Well, I'm part of the ensemble, so I do stuff like this a lot."
I mean, it's right.
Yeah. But I mean, that's so cool. I was like, dude, what the heck? I was gonna like, I had made a deal with like a bunch of like teammates of mine. I was like, hey, if you guys do it, I may do it. And then he just did it without telling me, and now it's too late.
But he's just an ensemble plebeian. I mean,
But that would still be cool, man. That would still be cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think just saying is like, yeah, because it's such a stereotyped thing. Like that's what like some football players in the past have done it just because they want to break through that and be like, yeah, I can still do this, and they're pretty opposites. I think it'd be cool to say that. Like, yeah, in high school I did a lot of football, but I also did the theater, so that was cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, there's always a decent chunk. It's less this year because they haven't been going out of their way to like recruit people just because of COVID numbers, but there's always a big healthy chunk of people you would not expect to be into theater. And I think that's good. That's a great little inclusive thing. And people always say that they wish they had done it earlier, actually. So,
yeah, that is true. I don't know what it is about theater, but I feel it like, I'm like, dang, I walk out of practice and I'm like, that's just amazing. Just, I don't know, that was a great 2 hours of my life. So, yeah. Or not practice. Miss Beeson would kill me. It's rehearsal.
Practice. Yeah. Is rehearsal, so like everything else is called rehearsal, but I know that like dress rehearsal is when you do like the whole thing, like when you do the whole
you do the whole show, you wear dresses, it's the whole shebang.
Everyone's got to wear a dress
and some makeup. You put on blush.
Yeah, you put on some blush. How much makeup in like a normal production in a normal year do you two put on? Like, is it it's nothing like crazy, right? Because it's for some different roles you have to have more just because of I don't know.
Usually, I think there's like eyeliner and like a little blush. I think honestly, I don't know. I just sit down in a chair and ask someone to do it, and for all they know, they could be giving me full lipstick and eyeshadow, and I would have no idea until I see a picture later on. But it's not much. It's just enough to make your face not look terrible under the light. Luckily for the play, we didn't have to do that since it was the Zoom light. So
yeah. Instead, you're at the mercy of the video quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know for makeup, yeah, you just go up to one of the girls and you say, "What's makeup?" And they say, "Here, I got you."
What's makeup? Be like, makeup? Question mark? And they go, yes,
They're
sit.
like, "Yes, for you, your face."
Yes, you need some makeup.
Yeah. All right. So what made you get into music? Because you were like Bert back in the
Oh,
day.
yes. How do you? Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why I
Yeah,
know
I'm
that.
a little confused how you knew that. Um,
Wait,
so
what's the deal? What was he? What
so
happened?
in eighth grade, I went to St. Pius. I'm a rich Pius kid. And I was Bert in our Mary Poppins production, and then before that, I was Rooster and Annie. He's the guy who tries to kidnap Annie. Um, and that was it. That was all I had done. I got into theater because in sixth grade I was in stage crew, right? And I did the sound. We had a student do handle the sound, and I was that student. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that. So the next year, I did,
That's the
and
biggest flex I've heard in my
and
life.
apparently I was better than I thought I was, and I got a role. And then the year later, I was the lead role, and I'm like, huh, I'm actually not terrible at this. Wow. So
Yeah. Because the funny part is that usually, like, I have a few of those stories where you just don't end it the way people think. Like, usually you would end it like, and then I tried, and it was actually pretty hard,
yeah.
And I learned to respect actors. But
No,
Brayden has no respect for actors. You all suck.
dude,
No, it's
Braden.
not that. It's just like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, it comes naturally to me. I'm just naturally gifted, but like
Yes, he is.
not nervous in front of a crowd or anything. I don't sound like absolute crap when I sing, and I can lie well, which means I can act well. So
See,
theater,
that's funny to me because I am like one of the most nervous people when I get on stage. I remember the first time for the play, my arms were just shaking.
yeah,
But I feel like it's one of those like mental things that we have seen in like song and stuff where I just think, you know what, this helps me. I'm a little bit more amped
yeah.
for the performance.
I
But
was
yeah.
nervous for like my first one,
Hmm.
and then I was a little nervous as in eighth grade when I was Bert, and then last year I'm just like, yeah, let's go. I'm in the quartet. I'm wearing the same striped suit that I wore last year. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not one to total, and I'm not trying to say this to be like, oh, you shouldn't get nervous. Oh, that's so weak. I'm not sitting here. I'm just saying like, um, I'm not one to get nervous. It's weird, I guess, but like the more people I'm in front of, honestly, the less nervous I do. Like if I'm just talking to one person, I can barely get words out. I'm pretty not antisocial, but like it's hard for me to even carry on a conversation. But then I can like speak in front of like 2,000, 3,000 people just fine. So
Hmm.
if I've prepared,
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm definitely not. I think I'm the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on like who the one person is though, but I guess that's obvious.
Well,
Yeah. But yeah, I know. I guess like I was kind of thrown into a weird situation being at just, two people on stage in front of a ton of people. Because I feel like now that I'm like not one of the main guys and I'm just gonna run out there with like 10 other dudes, it's
yeah.
probably gonna be a cakewalk. In
Yeah.
terms of like nerves and stuff.
No, yeah, it's really nerve wracking when it's like just you. I don't think I've actually like had a solo yet because Bert, like in Mary Poppins, Bert doesn't do much. I'm gonna be straight up honest. Like, so like I
Bert's a
don't.
cool guy though. Bert is a really cool character.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Like
no,
he's a
yeah.
hero for me, but he
Like
doesn't do much.
I like playing him, but like he doesn't have like a solo or anything like that. He's not like the lead. Like that's Mary.
Hmm.
And while I think I could have been a great Mary Poppins, um,
Dude, blood packet guy. If you could play that role, man.
Yeah, you could be Mary Poppins.
With practice, I'm pretty confident I could play a lot of, not to flex, but with like practice and just like, okay, I just have to get a feel for the character. I think I can play a lot of roles. I don't think I could sing a lot of roles,
Hmm.
but yeah.
Dang, I never even thought about playing a woman, especially because, females dominate
Yeah.
the theater department.
No, yeah.
Oh, man, I haven't even thought about it.
Beans,
I'm
with your
gonna-
hair, it would definitely work.
Yeah, no. I mean, I forgot how long your hair is now.
Yeah, I got it in a
seen you
ponytail.
during rehearsal, whenever you were last at rehearsal, and you were doing chorus, and your hair was just whipping around all over the place.
Oh, yeah, do I look like a madman?
I mean, yes.
I
Not
draw
the
comparisons from the thing from back at the barnyard.
Mhm.
You get this reference? You get this? You see back at the barnyard?
I get this.
Are you gonna look it up or what?
No, I'm not. Oh, is he looking it up?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you
No,
get the
no.
reference?
I vaguely remember the show, or was it a show or a movie?
Yeah, it was a show that also had a movie.
I vaguely remember it existing and seeing commercials for it and watching like the first minute of it because like whatever show that I was watching went off. But I don't know. I don't think I ever watched it.
There was just this reoccurring character that came like only a couple times, but he was just this ball of hair with arms and legs, and he would just dance like crazy.
I was a hardcore Lego Ninjago kid. That was my. I saw apparently it was 10 years old. Turned 10 years old a couple days ago.
Lego Ninjago did?
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I was never about that Ninjago life. I don't know why.
The Ninjago life.
You guys are like 2 years older than me, and like sometimes that's just all the difference.
That's fair.
Like. So
Yeah.
like sitting here, I'm expecting to talk about Lego Ninjago, and then I found out nope, no one. Okay.
Nobody cares about Lego Ninjago. Get that out of here, dude.
Yes,
was it cool? Wait, no.
I saw like a few
Ninjago
episodes. I saw a few episodes of this, but I'm sure I'm not as biggest fan as Braden is.
Yeah.
Cool? All right,
I'm not like a die-hard like Lego Ninjago addict. I don't have posters in my room or anything. It was just like one of the main shows I watched as a kid along with like Phineas and Ferb and then Avatar: The Last Airbender. Those were my three.
Oh yeah, I'm at least familiar with those other two.
Yeah.
But now I want to ask you. So, which one was who was the coolest character in Lego Ninjago? Who was the dude who you're just like, yeah, that dude?
I mean, my favorite ninja was Jay. He was the blue ninja.
All right.
To be honest, I don't remember a ton about the show. I remember watching it. I remember being obsessed with it. I don't remember like a ton of details or how I like felt about stuff. I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, childhood is like just like a fever dream of obsession, but then
Pretty
you get out
much,
of it and you're
yeah.
like, why did I care about anything as a child? Why do
Oh,
kids
yeah.
have emotions? World may never know.
I had this weird thing where if I got into something, I would be absolutely like obsessed. Like, and I know this happens with kind of everyone, but like I would live and breathe for like Thomas the Tank Engine, or I went through a U.S. history phase, and that has carried me through every history class.
Dude, if we could just all have that phase, I would.
No, yeah, it's
that would be
helpful.
nice.
It's helpful.
Yeah, dang. So basically, yeah, I want to like ascribe this to a mental disorder, but I don't. Or just a base.
It's
Yeah.
like quick addiction disorder. It's like
yeah.
a quick little addiction.
Struggle with addiction, but with really cool addictions.
Yeah, but
Oh,
then
yeah,
it's like,
it's not-
but it only lasts for like a year or something.
At worst, it's something useless. Like I know the name of like every Transformer. That's probably never going to come up. At best, you learn something that literally carries you through high school. So,
Yeah. Well, actually, at best, you get a profession.
yeah,
Yeah. Like I remember, somebody was talking about a comic book writer was talking about how he picked up a Spider-Man comic book and how it was all about addiction. He was like, I never fell into drug addiction like Spider-Man was talking about, but I did fall into a comic book addiction, which was probably more expensive. So, but it's just a profession now, so kudos.
paid off.
Yeah, Oh man. So U.S. history. What was that like? Like, how did people look at you funny when you were like, "Yo, Alexander Hamilton slaps. This was before. Was this before Hamilton?
This
Or
was way before Hamilton. Or
yeah, way before that dude. Way
Yeah.
before he came in here trying to make musicals.
no,
Brain was
that
on it.
was way before that. I assume I got looked at pretty weirdly. I don't remember that much, but like I don't think I would have remembered like some. Honestly, they're probably like, "Oh, your kid's obsessed with U.S. history. My kid's obsessed with Call of Duty." Like
Oh,
probably a better thing. But yeah, I don't remember anything to. I don't remember anything like anything.
I don't
like
remember
that.
getting in fights because they said something bad about George Washington or anything like that.
You're like, George Washington was not the best leader, and he's like, don't you say that, man.
I do not recall getting into any fights. That sort of. What about
That's
you?
bad. You know what? I mean, it's tough because, conflict is always cool, but it's tough to be like, I wish that you beat somebody up. Like, I don't want somebody to get beaten up. I mean,
No, yeah. The only reason I don't know, I feel like that would be such a dumb fight that I feel like would be pretty funny to be a part of.
yeah.
So
I feel like it'd really be emblematic of the way that, like, humanity goes about things. You know?
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we fight over the stupidest stuff.
Yeah. It's a tragedy. But it's also a comedy, I guess it's the Joker was right all along.
My life is a comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now Beans is the Joker. Okay. Well,
I mean, he's got the
No,
hair,
I've
man.
been
yeah.
I've been the Joker since I read Alan Moore's The Killing Joke. What a great book, actually.
Fun.
Yeah, I guess nobody else has read that. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I don't recognize that title at all.
No, all right, yeah. No other Alan Moore fans. I see.
Well, Braden, we are getting close to your time. I hate to cut you off, man. It's
Yeah,
really
get
fun.
out of here.
Yeah.
We don't like you.
Well, hold on. I wanted to, thanks for coming on, man. This was really fun.
Thank you for
I-
having me on the illustrious, legendary BeansTalk. And may I
Yes.
please compliment you on the name? Great name.
Many
Great logo.
thanks.
Many thanks. We don't know who made it. We're still looking.
We forget.
We
We forget
can't
who-
remember who came up with it. But
It's
yeah,
amazing.
I definitely was surprised. Beans, good guest. This was a good guest.
Yeah, Brandon, you're the best. Keep being weird.
2021 awards. Good guest on
Yes.
It's going right above my desk, right here.
Dude,
Yes.
you get a share in BeansTalk. If we make $1 million, I'm gonna give you like
1%.
1,000. All right,
1%.
1%. 1% would be like that would be $1,000.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
A share in BeansTalk.
Yeah.
Write that down.
I am writing it down.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. You have our
Woo!
word. You have our word.
All right.
Braden, before you leave, would you like to give a few words to the audience?
Yes, I would. Go see the musical, if you can, hopefully. I don't know if I'm going to run, but vote me for student council. I figured I might as well plug. I've done like 3 interviews in the past week, so I figured I should probably be plugging something better than, I don't know.
Student council. You had to wait until the end to open this magical box.
we can't talk about it anymore.
You're
Man.
gonna go
We're almost
Arnold
on time.
Schwarzenegger on us like that and leave? All right, vote this man.
Vote this
I will
man.
I get the BeansTalk endorsement. All right.
Thanks for coming on, Braden.
Well, thank you for having me. This was great. Thank you so much.
Man, that was.
All
Dude,
right,
that
now
was
we got to get his opponent on so that we can get the other side.
yeah, dude, that would be so cool. We get
That would
both
be
of them
so
on
cool.
and we host the debate, man.
Yeah, dude, we should do that. We should have a St. Joe debate.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be really cool. So, Beans, my guest, I'm really excited for this guest, man.
I'm
I
excited
really,
too.
I really
I felt like you had an idea from the beginning that you were just stoked for.
Dude, this was brewing since the first time I thought of mystery guest episode.
I'm so scared. I have one idea of who it could be, and if it's that,
You might
I'd
be
so
right.
happy.
I know you. So I'm gonna try to give you like the most obscure hint ever. He's waiting in the waiting room right now. I already gave away that it's a he. Crap.
Oh, you messed up.
So I'm gonna go ahead and let him know that he's gonna be on soon, so he doesn't get caught off by surprise. Talk for me, please, while I do
All right. So today we're talking about anticipation. You know when it's Christmas time and you sneak around and you sneak into the place where your parents hide the presents and you just look at them, but you don't see what they are. Because it's all about just the knowledge that something's coming, just the certainty, the concreteness of it. That's what's happening to me right now. You don't even understand, all right?
Yep. Okay, so Beans, I'm going to. This is, you know what? I feel every hint I think of, I feel like you're just gonna know it. You'll be excited anyway. I think. Trying to think of a really good one. How about this? In the past year, he has left us. You're smiling because you know who it is, dude. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't just man. All right. I let him know that he's coming on. Beans looks really excited. For those of you at home that don't know, Beans looks like the most hype I've ever seen him, man. All right, I'm gonna let him on. Hopefully, he comes on in good time. Everyone, please welcome to the BeansTalk podcast, Mr. Timothy Foster. Mr. Foster, say hello.
Hello, how's it going, guys?
How's it going, man?
Thanks for having me.
Beans,
No,
you have no idea how excited Beans got when I gave him the
What?
hint, and he immediately knew it, bro.
I've been waiting for you, all right? Our
Oh,
reunion
geez.
was inevitable. You know that you can't hide, all right?
For those of you that don't know, Foster used to go to St. Joe. He's a legend. He didn't used to go to St. Joe. He used to teach at St. Joe. That's what I meant. But he's a legend amongst the students. Everyone, just I don't know. What's your opening
I'm not
statement?
sure what that means. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
we
what
tell
I'm-
we tell the
of
freshmen
waiting.
this year. We're like, you'll never know about Mr. Foster. And I'm like, who are you talking about? And we're like, you'll just never know. It's sad.
Well, there you go. You got to hype me up, just like this big myth.
Yeah. Eventually, they're gonna find out that this is just fabricated by us, and Mr. Foster is not real.
Yeah, that's
I've
great.
always wanted you to wear a Mark Twain mustache. Remember this? I think we talked about this. You know, I think that you never took my advice, and I'm hurt. All right.
I will be honest. I do not remember anything about talking to you about wearing a Mark
Please.
Twain mustache. Although I did actually, I've been growing like a Christmas stash every year. So basically, like Thanksgiving to Christmas, I grow a little mustache, but then pretty much right after I shave it off because I don't know, I just don't like it that much.
All right, that's fair. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a facial hair guy either. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just more comfortable without, honestly.
I can't be a facial hair guy. I wrestle, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
Beans, I know you've already reacted quite a bit. First reactions, man.
First reactions. I'm gonna be honest. I actually thought it was somebody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
but it's really like I didn't expect Mr. Foster at all. To be
Yeah,
honest.
dude, I
How
pulled
did
out
you
all the
get talked
stop.
into this, dude? Where did?
Jacob sent me an email.
Dude, you can't say no to Jacob, man.
No.
Yeah, dude. This is the podcast is also like the mafia. You know, you just gave him an offer he couldn't refuse.
He doesn't even know what you're talking about. We talked about this with our previous guest. You just gave him information that he can do nothing with, Beans.
I'm
Who was the
sorry.
previous guest? Who did I miss?
Braden Troy.
Yeah, you don't know him. Sorry.
Yeah, you don't really know him. Because what was he like a freshman last year? Beans.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah. So he just missed you. Another tragic story.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
All right. But
I
where have
do
you?
want to. Sorry, I do want to preemptively answer a question that I've heard you guys discussing on your podcast. Because believe it or not, I actually listened to a couple episodes.
Yo, that's
And-
the best news ever.
Give me that YouTube
And I
money.
subscribed, and I think I was like the second like on one of them too. So
Ooh. All right.
That's awesome. But what is your question you're going to answer? What was it?
the question I was going to answer is, even though I'm an English teacher, no, I have not read Moby Dick.
Oh my gosh.
I did start it one time, but
No
didn't
way.
get very far.
Yeah. Dang.
So I'm already out of I'm in the minority even more in this aspect. That's crazy.
Yeah. Nobody's read Moby Dick. It's just too much.
not-
That means that
it's
I do
not-
admire people who read Moby Dick.
It's not too. Of course, I wouldn't say admire me. I read this when I was in 5th grade, and I thought it was a cool whale story. So, I mean, it is a cool whale story, but I think there's more to it than that.
And to put it in perspective, like Mr. DePaul was like, whatever, Frankenstein. That's got a lot of big words in it. But I had to pause Moby Dick for it. But like Moby Dick is way more big words. It's definitely way more like hard to comprehend and stuff. Then it makes Mary Shelley's Frankenstein look like a cakewalk, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I remember really enjoying reading Frankenstein in high school. But yeah, I feel like the Moby Dick vocabulary was just so much more obscure.
Yeah. Did you notice just like all of the references that you just would not get?
Yeah.
Did you ever like
I
look
spent
for
like half
anything
the
up
time
with
reading
any-
like the end notes or whatever.
Oh yes. Yeah. What a weird guy, Melville. Why do you do this to us? He
No,
just
but-
writes
Yeah, sorry, you keep talking.
Oh, he just writes in double negatives all the time and stuff like that, just to flex. I don't even know.
Yeah. No, I was so happy when I heard that O'Brien had you guys read Bartleby the Scrivener.
That was
Hmm.
good. I did like that. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that just showed Melvo just loves doing really weird, fun things just all
Yeah.
the time in his writing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was so weird. But where have you been for the
Yeah,
past year?
what's
Mr.
up?
Foster?
What's going on? Let the people know.
Say that again. That
I
last
said,
part?
let the people know. What have you been
Oh,
doing?
let the people know.
Yeah.
Well, I have a kid. I work at Washington High School. Just kind of a little bit in the same boat as everyone else, just with all this e-learning, Had a couple COVID scares, but tests kept coming back negative, so dodged it so far. But yeah, life is good. I have a dog. I have a German Shepherd.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool. If you don't know, I mean, you probably know because you said you've been listening to a couple episodes. It happened again, Beans. It's hard to not, but we mentioned COVID like every episode, but it's hard to not to
Oh, yeah.
in this climate right now.
It's like water now.
Yeah.
This is water, this is COVID. Is the times. We're just like swimming in it.
For real. Man, like RIP, right?
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you ask like, hey, what's been new with you? It's like, well,
Not much, really.
Yeah.
almost
been
coming
like-
up on a full year here.
Oh, I
That's
brought that
crazy.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something else. I feel like we've all talked about COVID enough in our lives.
Yes, that's the only thing that I mentioned that like we talk about COVID every time. It's just because it's a depressing topic for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I mean,
So
I
I don't
think-
want to cramp your style if you guys are into like, I don't know. I feel like you have some fairly like high intellectual questions that you ask sometime. I've also been playing a lot of video games. So
dude, I would
It's-
love to hear about that.
The last
our-
time talked about video games too. So
Yeah, I mean, it's this isn't a very original podcast, but we continue anyway. So yeah, what kind of video games you been playing?
I kind of go back and forth between FIFA and Warzone. FIFA just because I'm a soccer guy and I love it, and Warzone just because it's a good time, I played, the games that Injustice is modeled after. Mortal Kombat. I played
Oh,
Mortal
yeah.
Kombat for a bit.
Have you played Injustice?
I haven't played I played Injustice in college, but I haven't played it like on my own. Yeah, I just recently kind of got into playing video games.
I've never heard of Warzone. What's that?
It's it's like I don't know. What would you call it?
No, he's being, yeah.
I can't tell honestly. With Bean, sometimes he really hasn't heard of the most popular stuff. So is he
Is
being?
it really popular? Am I?
I mean, it's kind of popular. I mean, it's
Shoot, I
kind of
Wait.
just like an online playing with people and stuff. So
I can't tell. Is he messing with us or no?
I can't
Dude,
tell.
I would not mess with you.
He's
about-
smiling too much.
I'm smiling because I have a podcast, dude. I have Tim Foster on my podcast.
Hashtag not who you thought I was.
Yeah, because you got let on, and he saw the screen, and he acted more surprised
Because
after.
I was more surprised. Yeah,
Don't say who you were expecting. That's gonna hurt their
I'll
feelings.
tell you.
Don't. But yeah, he was very
Oh,
surprised.
good. I appreciate you coming clean about it, Beans, and not
You're
trying to like
welcome.
play it off.
Yeah, I know. I almost try. I'm a very honest man. You see,
Yeah, yeah.
so I wouldn't be messing with you about what's Warzone. I
Yeah.
heard, yeah. What is Warzone? I need to know.
So have you heard of Call of Duty, Beans?
Yes.
Okay, Warzone is like the latest installment of Call of Duty. It's like their
Oh, all
online
right.
Fortnite, basically. It's like their version of Fortnite.
So Call of Duty made a game similar to Fortnite.
Basically, battle
Battle
royale.
Royale.
In that
Just a
sense.
better. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
is it like the newest thing? Is it like tons of people playing it? Is that what's going on?
It's not like super new, but it's still
It's
popular.
been around, but it's still popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Y'all are just guilt tripping me about not knowing what Warzone is. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's a cool life. That's cool.
Yeah. What have you guys been up to aside from creating this podcast? This is awesome.
Yeah, we really. I mean, this came from like you can thank Mr. Reynolds for this if you've heard some of the episodes because that's like he was the one that was like just do it. Like for 4 years we were like this would be kind of cool, and he was like just do it. But yeah, besides the actual podcast, especially during quarantine in terms of video games, I was really working on my Wii bowling score. I need to get back to that. That was really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, I like retired from video games. I'll come out of retirement to just like destroy someone in Smash Bros. Every once in a while.
Right.
But
sure.
that's about it.
You have to, just to kind of like remind yourself that you can do it, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a Bobby Fischer mentality. People don't even know I'm in the game.
Well, you have no idea how much I loved Bobby Fischer growing up.
Really? Dang.
Yeah. There was like that movie, right? A Bobby Fischer movie.
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it as a kid.
That's the power of marketing yourself right there.
Yeah.
Is Bobby
for sure.
Fischer.
Yeah.
Bobby Fischer, Elon Musk, these guys marketed themselves excellently, and we can all take a page out of their books.
Yeah.
But yeah, what have I been doing over quarantine? Jeez, it feels like nothing. My life, I've had a lot of homework, yeah, I guess I do homework. What?
Growing out a ponytail?
Growing out a ponytail? Yeah. We commented on that today, I guess. Yeah. I wear it because I have a wiry headphone thing, and my hair gets stuck in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, it definitely was not looking as clean as it did in previous episodes. It was like a bush, and you could see the outline of a headphone, maybe. Yeah, dude's been growing his hair for a while. Beans, are you thinking about cutting it at all?
Yo, I know you always be on my back about cutting my hair, dog. I only go to the barber for a shave, though, because I'm classy like that. But nah, I don't. I don't know if I'm gonna cut it. I probably should sometime soon because I don't want to go full like boy in a band out here or something. If anyone gets the reference.
Wait, what did you say?
Boy in a band.
Dude, I get the reference.
Yeah, woo!
There you go. Foster doesn't get the reference.
Yeah, you millennial, get out of here. All right.
My excuse is always that I grew up in China.
Oh, all right.
Oh, there it is.
It's not like he's actually popular or anything.
I mean, there's a whole 2 hours of stuff to talk about. You want to like briefly mention that? Because there's definitely people that listen to this podcast and don't know who you are or don't even know who we are. I mean, I've definitely seen some views that are like, who are these people?
That's awesome. Sure. Yeah. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Yeah. I mean, why?
I mean,
Maybe
so
why?
we're part of the Communist Party of China, so you have to say that you had a good time.
Yes, happiest place on earth.
Yes. No, I was just like curious. I can't remember. You definitely told like plenty of stories, and I've definitely forgotten like 50% of them because I'm bad like that. But like, why did you live in China for a good portion of your life?
Yeah. So my parents did Christian missions work there. I was born here in South Bend, but even before I was born, my parents had already been living over there with my older sister. So they came back, had me in America so that if one day I want to run for president, I can. And then, yeah, basically, I think I first went over there when I was like 6 or 9 months old. And yeah, just kind of lived in Beijing the entire time. Um, and yeah, we would come back and visit a good amount just to like see family, and like I have two other younger siblings that are both born in the States. But we would always kind of go back there, and then that was just kind of home. Lived there till I graduated high school, and then came back here for college.
Do you ever miss being over there? Like, were there things over there that were like, dang, it was cooler than what we got over here?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's fair,
um,
yeah.
no, but yeah, it's just very different. I feel like there are, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of like travel, right? Like
Mm.
if you haven't, and you get the experience or get the chance to, like, definitely try to travel overseas, visit a different country, get on a long plane ride. Um, yeah, and I think something that's really cool about China is that it's such a unique place, right? Like there's really very few other places, really no other place like it in the world, right? The other options would be like, I mean, you know, the Koreas and Japans,
Mm.
but Chinese
Which are
people.
pretty different in their own rights. So were you
Yeah.
mostly in like urban areas, I'd imagine?
Yeah, so I grew up right in Beijing, so it's the
Mm.
capital city. The population, last I checked, was like 3 times the population of the entire state of Indiana. So
Dang, that's
yeah,
crazy.
so we're talking like, how Chicago has like kind of one major like downtown stretch, right?
Mm.
You have like, I mean, you have some big downtowns, but in terms when you think about like tall buildings, right? Like you kind of just have like that few like in the center, and then the rest of the city just kind of sprawls out.
Yeah.
Beijing was like just massive, like tall buildings everywhere. Like we grew up in a 25, 26 story apartment building. We lived on it was the 7th floor, but it was actually the 6th floor because in Chinese, the number 4 is very similar to the same word for death. So it's unlucky. So all the like buildings in the elevator, it'll just go like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and
Mm.
it just kind of counts up from there. But yeah, so literally, I remember, yeah, I mean, just taking public transportation all the time, just walking like across the major highway on like an overpass bridge to get to the other side to catch a bus, you
Mm.
know. But I really kind of enjoyed the freedom of it, right? Like when I got into high school, and I was homeschooled because my parents didn't want to have us like saluting Chairman Mao every morning. Um, but yeah, so I was homeschooled, so I guess kind of similar even to like what everyone's doing now with e-learning. But I was able to be a little more self-paced, so I could just be like really motivated for the first like 3, 4 days of the week. So then Friday I would just have an easy day where I just had a couple like little assignments to finish up, and then I could hop on public transport or hop on my bike and like go to my friend's place or go catch up with other people and pick up a game of soccer or something. Um, and yeah, I mean, like crazy stuff, like literally I would like just ride my bike down like an off ramp on a highway, how it's kind of like just a really nice curve, right? And it's like going over like all the other highways. Like I just like ride my bike down that because
You
one
were a
that's
daredevil.
oh yeah, loved it. Well, I mean, like I grew up my entire life there, so it was kind of the classic um dilemma of like I really felt like I belonged and I felt like I was home, but I didn't look like I belonged. So like one of my favorite stories to tell is I was riding a bus one time on my way to like Chinese class or like a soccer game or something. And I heard these like Chinese people whispering like foreigner, foreigner, right? Like they're whispering like the Chinese word for foreigner. And I looked out the window to like see where the foreigner is. I wanted to stare at them too because they look so weird walking down the sidewalk. And then, but like, and no joke, like, you guys all laugh instantly because you get it. I didn't get it until like 15 minutes later when I was off the bus, like walking, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, wait a second, they were talking about me.
I'm the foreigner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Ah, yeah, that's gotta be tough to not be able to like be where you feel like you belong. I guess you probably feel like you belong here too, but yeah, to be
Yeah,
separated from childhood.
I would say I've adapted pretty well to life here. Um, that's kind of a weird thing to comment on. Like, I would say I'm pretty normal considering. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely an adjustment in college. There were some things that we're getting used to. I remember the first time I like used my like new debit card at Taco Bell. I like just handed it to the cashier and I was like terrified. I was like, I don't know what happens next. Like, is it going to work? I don't know. We'll just see.
That would be a very interesting thing to like look at, and like if other people were to experience that, like if you threw someone in a different country and then you threw them back here and they're like they can't adapt as well to the country they live in. I mean, it's a weird experience that I'm sure you didn't think was as weird, but us hearing that, it's really strange to think about that you were like so like not adapted to it after, you lived in China basically all your life until you came back here.
Yeah, no, for real. And I think it was especially weird because I looked just like everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm like German, Irish, Welsh, British, like
Yeah, it all comes back to Frankenstein, you see? Just because he looks like a monster doesn't mean he is a monster. All right.
Yes.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh man, I remember like there's the whole classic like oh it's named after the doctor, right? It's Dr. Frankenstein, right? It's
mm,
not like the what do they call it, like the creature or something.
yeah, like
um
monster. So
yeah, the monster. um and then there's that classic thing, but is Dr. Frankenstein in the is he the monster, right? And I
oh,
remember when I was in English class in high school, it was like a collaborative with like a couple of the other homeschool kids my age, and someone else said that, and I wanted to say it so bad. It was one of those where it's like you just didn't speak up quick enough, and I was just like gritting my teeth. It was like that was my one chance to be really smart in this class, and I just missed it.
I remember having a bunch of those moments in your class, not because of you, just because of other people that got it before I did. And I was like, oh, man, that would have sounded so good.
Right.
yeah. What made you want to teach English? That's a good story to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess my big thing was I came back and I was going to Bethel, right? Because like my parents have a lot of connections at Bethel, and my dad ran semester abroad programs for them. So I grew up just like having these like different trips of like Bethel college students and like showing them around town and like helping them bargain for like their clothes and stuff that they wanted. Um, so I went to Bethel, right? Because I figured, hey, if I'm moving to the other side of the ocean, might as well go somewhere where I know a few people already. And I first thing I wanted to study was international business because I wanted to make money and travel wherever I wanted to, right? Because I grew up overseas, so you just kind of get used to traveling and like visiting different countries because you get random layovers in different places, and yeah. So I really wanted to travel, and I didn't want to have to like raise support like my parents did, which is a whole like different realm of like topics, right? But it very quickly, I think it was like second semester my freshman year, I realized I was like, I don't want to be a businessman. That sounds awful. Like that just it isn't me at all. And I was really vibing with my English class, and it was like a 8 a.m. English class with like a really dry professor that like everyone thought was super boring. But I loved it. Like I would literally like, wake up super groggy, and then I'd get in class and I would just like come alive. And I was like analyzing the stories and like pulling insights. And I remember there was this one moment where we were reading, I think it was The Rocking Horse Winner by Faulkner, right? And I brought up some like literary critique, right? Or I did not a literary critique. I brought up some deep detail. I was like, could this mean this, right? Because the author brings it up a couple times, and the professor looked at me and he was like, you know what? I've never thought of that before. You could write an essay on that. And that was the moment where I was like, man, like he's literally been teaching this for how many years, and I was able to just think of something that he hadn't thought of. And that was the moment where I was kind of like, hey, you know what? I could do this. And it's something I am enjoying a lot more than the people around me, that's for sure. So yeah. So
Wow. So you literally had the same moment as our last guest did, where you were just like, I could do that person's job better. And then you did.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what Braden said about theater. He was like he tried it or he like heard about it and kind of
He was in
thought about it.
stage crew, yeah.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
stage crew and he was like, I'll do that. I can probably do that. And you were like, that's same with you. You're like, yeah, I'll do it. I could probably do it.
yeah, exactly. And then literally at that time, like my dad, I was having a conversation with my dad as I was like changing my major, right? And he was like, you could get an English degree, right? And then, like try to find a job after college, or you could be an English teacher and then immediately have a job after college. And I had already been like volunteering like some time with like an after school program for like middle school boys called 5 Star that works in like some South Bend schools. And it was like super hard, but I was loving that too. And I was like, hey, I would love to have like a guaranteed job after graduating. So
Yeah.
then I got into it, and then just, every class and every experience I had just kind of kept getting better and better. So
Good story. That's a wholesome story, right?
It's
there.
really, it's really weird to think how you're saying like you had this dry, not super fun teacher, but still interested you. That's not at all what you're like. So it's really weird to hear that. It's like you took that and you're like, okay, I'll do the English thing, but I'm not gonna be that kind of English teacher. I'm gonna be the English teacher that has like toy swords in his cubbies or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if those ended up being more of a headache for me than they were.
Yeah, they definitely ended up being a headache. In fact, you know what? No one gets the context, but I've been meaning to ask you this question for like forever. What happened to the sword, man? Did it get lost? Is it gone?
I have honestly no clue. So what probably happened, right, was some other class came down and said, hey, Mr. Foster, can we borrow your props, right, because we're doing something for so-and-so's class. And then, they grab stuff, and who knows where it ends up, man.
Yeah. I mean, I asked just because I remember seeing it on the last day, or at least as much last day as I could, the last day that I was in your class. And I was like, okay, it's there. I'll make sure it's there next year. And then next year I was like, oh, I forgot to make sure it's there. And then I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do because it's gone now.
Yeah, probably English office maybe, but no.
Yeah, this isn't over, Skull. You got to go on like a whole detective
I got to find
quest.
it. I got to do it for Team Blue, man.
You could make do you want me to write like a noir movie, like about you finding the sword?
Yes.
Like, I hadn't felt true joy since I gazed upon that magnificent weapon.
Beans has been in the film kind of mood since our last episode. He's definitely been in that kind of like I want to create stuff since we did that last week.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to be honest, Jacob, your premise made no sense. Too complicated, man.
Come on, man.
Complicated. like he's dead, but he's not dead.
I know.
It's not supposed to.
Like, I'm sorry. I understand the feeling of like this could be a really cool scene. But
I know.
How do you translate the emotion of that scene into something that makes a little more sense?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. Some of the best movies. I mean, you think someone would have accepted the idea of a guy that like teleports in and out of time? I mean, they thought that was weird, probably. I mean, at one point, the light bulb was absurd. So I'm gonna make it.
I don't know about that argument though. At one point, the light bulb was absurd. Good luck with that one, Jake.
I think it was. There was definitely a few people that were like, "No."
In your pitch meeting, you're gonna be like, "But come on, guys."
It's gonna work. You're gonna see. It may not be the same movie, but it's gonna have that concept in it, and it's gonna make sense. Or it's gonna do bad, or it's gonna do very poorly, and I'm gonna be happy that it at least happened.
Right. So you could hear me like kind of being like, "Yeah, what's the point?"
I really thought Beans would latch on. I
eventually I was eventually with it. But
yeah, because I was explaining like it can definitely be critiqued, like it can definitely be changed. Right. But I wanted it to play with the idea that there's someone that's dead that's not dead.
You know what's? Did I bring up the one Edgar Wright movie, the zombie apocalypse one he has? So it's a pretty cool movie, but at the end he has this really interesting idea where they stop the zombie apocalypse, but some people are still zombies, And those people, their friends just like keep them around because they don't want to be like without their friends, but they're still zombies, so they're just like try to eat them, and they'll be like, no, stop.
I've
They're
heard
just,
of
like,
that.
having a shot.
I haven't seen. I've heard of that though.
Yeah, it's just I think that was the most interesting part of the movie for some reason for me. It just brought all of these like weird ideas into my brain. You could do something like that.
Yeah. Or you could do like an emotional death of a relationship.
Yeah, maybe like he thinks he's
Death
dead.
of self-belief.
Yeah, like maybe in his mind his body isn't working, but I mean really his body's working fine, and everyone thinks he's weird because he thinks that he's dead.
Ooh, it could be a connection between like the body and the mind, or like
Yes.
the body and the soul, right? You could do something with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's already getting changed. It's already getting better. See, it already
No,
makes sense.
It's a very Play-Doh idea.
It is a very Play-Doh idea. That's what I thought when I thought of it too.
Yeah. It's interesting because usually that's not my thought process if I was to come up with a movie. I would like have something that I'm trying to say about something and then develop ideas around that. But I respect just being like, this would be cool if we did this, and then
Yeah, like ideas that I write down sometimes start with a meaning, and sometimes they start with a weird thing that happened, and then I try to make a meaning out of that. I mean, I think some of the best stories could probably come from that. I can't think of any right now, but there's definitely some.
Well, I think, yeah, just in general, I think it's great to be in the practice of like writing down your like ideas and your creative outlets, you know? Like for me, it's like I really enjoy writing like little poems, right? And it's all, you know, sometimes they start off like really serious and deep, and then they just take a turn where it's just like, you know, things I can't necessarily say because I remember you guys said this is a family wholesome podcast.
Yes.
Where it's just like, and I'm just gonna end it here and just make it make no sense. And you know, but I think the practice of having that creative outlet is a very healthy and good thing.
Yeah, I've been doing that poetry. I've been hitting them rhymes for like years now. I got a song. I might actually release a song sometime with some raps.
Put it out on SoundCloud.
Put it on SoundCloud or Bandcamp is probably the move. You know, because Bandcamp's for all of those like weird people. You know, SoundCloud's for you normies. Get out of here if you're on SoundCloud.
Beans is creating a new evolution of weird rap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a revolution going on in rap right now. You know, you listen to some of that stuff on Bandcamp. It's a little bit aggressive, so I don't know if I should drop.
Yeah, maybe save it for a future episode.
I forget what it was called, but I remember at one point I had downloaded this like app that like Joseph Gordon-Levitt put out for like just people to post their creative stuff, and then you can like, and basically it's like we were just creating all this content for him, but it was fun. It was cool.
And then he just steals your ideas, Joseph.
Yeah, and then he's just like, "Oh yeah, this is great," you know, like.
Yeah, I can't believe
I'm sure it had a much more like it was much more like noble in purpose, right, and like mission statement wise. But I remember thinking that to myself. I was like, "So I'm putting my stuff out here, and like you say you're going to give me credit for it, but what does that even mean?" Like.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
that's the funny thing about like, you know, when you have a talent, but what am I doing with this? You know, what am I doing with this stuff I make? Yeah, you can go a lot of directions. It's weird.
So before we log off, just because Foster's here and the few people that know about it are gonna want me to ask him. I cringe about it every day, thinking I thought of this idea, but I wanted to bring up Bell Ringer. Beans makes fun of me for it sometimes too. But Bell Ringer was like it didn't really start with me. Whoever took that picture, it was like a picture of Mr. Foster just like, I don't know, like throwing up deuces or something.
It was a spirit day. It was like a denim day or something.
Yeah, but it was a cool looking picture, like with just him, because he was kind of like, it was kind of a cool looking pose. Yeah, it was like that, and then I made it into like a little bit of a, I don't know what it was. I just kind of made it like a one-shot thing, and it said Bell Ringer across, and I was like, this looks like an album cover. Okay.
I remember this.
Okay, I'm going to play around with some lyrics. Okay, maybe I'll make some music. you know what? I'm gonna ask him. Can we do this? It never happened because I think we both realized, or maybe I realized. I think you always knew it was a bad idea. Um, I
Steal
think.
someone else's likeness for your album cover, dude.
Well, no, it was such a
No, that was fine. I thought the design and everything was cool. Are you're talking about like the song?
the song itself. Yes, the fact that
Yeah,
I wanted to. The fact that we were actually in the process until like sophomore year ended, and I was like, you know what, I'm moving on. But we were in the process of trying to schedule a time for Foster to record these awful, awful lyrics based on a title.
Oh my gosh!
man.
Did I write some of these lyrics? What
I
happened?
think you might have looked at it and critiqued it a little bit. There were a few writers on this project. It still exists. It's still in my computer. I mean, it could be made any day. But
I mean, I think it was one of those things where, as a teacher, it was like I've been in your shoes, and where it's like I know it feels like a cool idea, but like I'm not gonna like.
yeah, no, I totally got that.
How do I gracefully like not?
He just
pressure.
I'm not gonna record a rap that you wrote.
he just like brushed it off in the nicest
writing,
way.
Jacob, right? I'm your English teacher. I want to encourage your writing, but
Yes, not that.
Oh my gosh! Imagine you did go through with it, and you're just getting bullied by all the other teachers for how cringy your song is.
And then like,
so I heard you made a song on SoundCloud.
yeah. I mean, I
it would
honestly
have followed me around for too long.
Yeah, it was such a meme though. Like, it wasn't just that. That song part was something that I just like was thinking. I was like, this could be real, but everyone else loved the meme itself. It was just that picture that, and whoever posted it put like a little caption on Snapchat first before I just made it bell ringer. It said when you hit him with the bell ringer, because Foster does a lot of bell ringers. So yeah,
yeah, I do them every day now. That's my attendance question.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so funny is that they were just, you'd have a smug look. All right, I'm analyzing the joke. I'm killing it. I'm sorry. I'm a murderer. I have blood on my hands. Oh.
Yeah. But basically, this was there were a couple people. I think Team Blue was the only one that actually was thinking this was a cool idea. Everyone else was like, that's fun joke. Yeah. I get exactly what you mean though. You were sitting there like, man, this would have been a cool idea when I was like 15, but I'm not going to crush his dreams.
If only you were cool.
I've written songs with my friends before,
Yeah, no, I've done that. I've like written songs on my own and then just been like, I'm deleting this, burn it, please. I don't want anyone to see this. Because I don't know what was, honestly, I don't know what was cringier, the lyrics or the fact that I thought that track was like a decent track. It was just me throwing stuff in GarageBand all around. But yeah, that was a weird time. It was a fun time, but it was a weird time.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yes, it was. Great way to sum that up.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to bring that up just to clear the air. I think we needed to finally lay it to rest. We needed to finally say this is not happening because until we talked about it, it was kind of happening.
If you would have thrown a diss onto like Mr. Foster, you might have been able to get him to respond, dude.
Yeah, and then I would have tricked him. Like I would have sent him as like a ghostwriter, sent him lyrics, and eventually got him to record this diss track. But it's not a diss track. It's just
this is so elaborate. This is so.
Yeah, you think I'd ever like look at the lyrics and be like, oh yeah, these.
You never saw the lyrics. You never did, and I'm glad you didn't. At least I think you did.
Oh no, you sent me some, or you showed me some.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad lyrics. It was just like me trying to. It was me trying to form.
Yeah, I mean, you were trying to form the rhymes. You were trying to get the rhythm in there.
Yeah.
You were trying to get all the pieces, but
it probably would work.
But you're bad.
With like. Also, I kept thinking to myself, I was like, I don't want to be mean to Mr. Foster, but what if he just doesn't have the flow? Like, I was like, I wouldn't want to put him in that position where he doesn't have the flow and he just can't do it right,
Yeah.
That would have been so much better if he actually made it. He had no flow and he was just like.
No, I mean, you've heard me in class. Like, you've heard my like stutter sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is that I find
I was
that
about to
when
put myself in that position.
No.
I find that like I stutter less when I'm saying rhymes over a beat. It's just because you have to get it out or on time. You got this time signature, and it's more steadying. I think.
Yeah, well, and I think what you have to do is And I think here's Jacob, if you could go back in time, or even if you want to try to, critique it now, you can't force. Very few people, I'll say, can force a like rhythm or force a storyline in a rap. The rap isn't always going to say exactly what you want it to say. I think with like Beans and his freestyling, right? You just take the journey, right? See where it takes you.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it, is that everything has to fit into little bars. And so even especially nowadays, back in the day, you had like, you listen to a Wu-Tang freestyle and they would try to get a story into their raps. And yeah, a lot of them would have raps with stories in it. But now in like a post MF Doom rap era, we have a lot of just disconnected one-liners.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the new thing. It's the future.
Yeah, I think if I could go back in time, like you said, I would probably just tell myself, this is not a cool idea. Yeah, you're having fun with your friends and you're not really having fun with your teacher. You're just kind of making him uncomfortable and laughing, but you're having fun. But this is a terrible idea. I would probably tell him, keep writing this, but never let it see the light of day.
That's the funny part, is that like making people uncomfortable is terrible, but like it's also hilarious.
It can be
like,
fun.
Well, yeah. Well, and I had a good time with you guys.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself or overthink it too much.
Yeah. There were a few uncomfortable laughs that were still pretty funny in that class. There were plenty.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. One thing I will say for you guys are both seniors, right? You're looking on to the next steps and everything. Okay. One thing I will say, Kay, my journey and how I got to be doing what I'm doing is definitely like, I feel very lucky and very blessed that is what has happened to me, right? Don't feel bad if it doesn't happen to you. It didn't happen to most of my friends, and they're changing jobs here or there. They're trying different things out, or they're doing something totally different than they got their major in, so I remember early in college and late in senior year in high school, there was so much pressure, right? Of like, what's your plan? What are you going to do? Like, do you have it sorted out? Are you just going to go up and wing it, right? Some people are confident to say like, hey, I'm just going to go wing it, right? Other people, try to think, well, here's what I'm thinking. Here's my kind of answers, but it's all going to change when you get there, And I think the more open you can be to, finding where your enjoyment and like talents are, works out well. But that being said, what are you guys thinking about going for? You have no idea.
I've always had an idea. I definitely still want to go into film and study film, possibly business too. Double majoring, I've been told, is more realistic than I think. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that. Yeah, I definitely want to.
If you start out double majoring.
Yeah. Beans, what about you?
That's a good question. The future, it's not certain for Beans. But I don't know. I might start off with something like creative writing. But that's definitely not. So definitely double major if I do that, because I need to eat at some point in my life. And I might, I don't know. There are a lot of things that I'm probably gonna try to do.
Yeah.
Like maybe make a YouTube channel, do a bunch of other stuff, but. Yeah, a lot of stuff that isn't sustainable. So I don't know.
Hey, but that being said, right, like I think a lot of those careers are more sustainable now, and they're getting more and more sustainable with the ever evolving economy.
Yeah, that's one reason why we kind of went, let's do a YouTube channel with a podcast. Like that's not our end goal, but we've talked about it so many times on past episodes. Is like, what if this ended up being the thing we do? I mean, I think it's a huge long shot. I think it's more of a long shot than my goal to be a screenwriter for Hollywood, but it's definitely more possible now than it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess the die has been cast, even if it's 0.0001% in our favor.
It's very deterministic, Beans.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it be sometimes. I don't know.
I remember there was a moment in college that like my intro to philosophy teacher blew my mind when he was like, you know what? Like determinism versus free will, right? Are we tracking? Okay. So he's like, determinism is actually a lot easier to argue for than free will.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really get into like the logistics of the argument, I think a lot of us still, like just would naturally believe in free will, but if you get into it, the determinism is much easier to kind of connect all the dots.
Sometimes conversations about free will kind of become like a weird semi-semantics game.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and it's because, like people talk about, I don't know, you're free to do whatever you want. I guess the reply is, are you free to want whatever you want? And so that kind of becomes, situation really weird. It's hard for people to comprehend, I think, is why, it gets to be such a deep debate.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to cut this one off too, but we got to stop. It's been an awesome, like 45 minutes. I seriously, I was sitting here like Beans is gonna come up with a great guest, and it was a great guest, and I have a guest that I am afraid I'll talk to too long. Like, I'm afraid Beans will talk too long, and not too long. This is yeah, I think it's good to talk too long sometimes, though.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But we appreciate you coming on, Mr. Foster. This was quite an experience. This was kind of a trip for me and Beans.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad I could be here, and thanks for having me, guys. I was excited when I got your email. So
I think Beans, after hearing that I was just that prepared, was excited no matter what. And I was like, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, this was a good surprise. This was cool.
Yeah.
This was really cool.
Had some good guests today. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, Skull feeling strong.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Well, Mr. Foster, we will let you go, and we'll wrap this up for the audience. Thank you again for coming on, and any last words?
Nope, that's it. I'm excited to keep up with the podcast, and take it easy, guys. Feel free to reach out anytime. I live in town, so.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yep, for sure. All right, talk to you guys later.
See you, man.
See you. No, you left me again, Skull. You left me again.
Man, what a great episode. These are some good guests, man. This was a cool concept. I liked how much more we wanted to talk as we got excited about these guests.
I think this needs to happen again.
This needs to be a thing. We'll make this a thing. Maybe not next week, but we'll make this a thing. We'll do it again if we want.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're definitely past our limit for time. Beans, go ahead and take the audience out with an improv outro.
We brought back the past with Mr. Foster, and I'm running out of words. So I'm just gonna cut it short and say, that was a pretty cool episode. Mystery guests forever. Old friends forever. Respect forever.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Foster and Braden Choi, for coming on. And please tune in next week. We will have a guest ready to talk about plenty of things. Thank you for listening. See you guys.